There you go.
Who screams for ice cream? I scream for ice cream. So today we are going to be making blueberry crumble ice cream. This is a Delia Smith recipe for you at Sharing Community. This is Alexandra Negueta. You can find me on www.theblindsoapmaker.co.uk. However, I have decided to simplify the recipe a little bit by making my custard with instant custard powder, some caster sugar and some milk. Obviously, if you want to make it even more instant custard, you can just buy a box of instant custard. You will need 500 mils of instant custard. I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of custard powder in. And I'm going to put 1 tablespoon of sugar in. Caster sugar, by the way, guys. Again, in order to make them even tablespoons, remember to press against the sides of the bag when you bring it out. There we go. Now I'm going to start by making a paste. I'm just pouring in a little bit of milk in order to make a paste with my whisk.
I think you can have the rest of the milk now, Alex.
Thanks, Mum. There we go. I'm adding all the rest of my milk in and giving it a good whisk up. So those you can see, you can probably see it changing colour, but I cannot see that at all. So I have now nicely whisked everything up. I have put cling film over the top of my bowl, and I'm going to walk over to my microwave and I'm going to put it in my microwave. I'm going to start with about 5 minutes. You will need your whisk to have a look at it later on.
Started.
There we go. I'm going to take it out and see if it's thick enough for ice cream specifically. Go. I was a bit nervous to take my gloves off and get the cling film off, but to be honest, with being blind, it's a lot easier to feel it that way than it is to do anything else. So here is my jug. Now, as you may be able to see, it is a lot thicker than what we started with. So I think that is the right consistency that I want for my blueberry crumble ice cream. Just gonna get it from the bottom and the sides. There we go. Stop that much.
Okay.
So this has had another 5 minutes in the microwave. I'm now going to give it a good whisk to make sure that there aren't any lumps and bumps within my custard. And whilst I let it cool, I am now and again going to revisit it, give it another whisk to make sure that it doesn't form a skin on the top of it. My fan oven is on at 170 degrees Celsius, and I'm now going to make the crumble for our blueberry crumble ice cream. So the crumble, we need 50 grams of butter. I've got it right here. We need 50 grams of soft brown sugar. We need 70 grams of plain flour, and we need 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. I am going to weigh out these ingredients and I'm going to put them into my bowl, and I am going to make them look like breadcrumbs. Mix it all up until it's like breadcrumbs. So in order to get it nice and crumbly, I just got my fingers right in there. I mixed it all together, and I got some butter and the flour all together, and then I rub it in between my fingers like so. Now that it's all nice and crumbly, because it is going into an ice cream, you need some shallow baking trays. Okay, I have one here, and I'm about to pour all of this into here. It's nice and shallow in order to get it nice and thin and crispy, because it's going into an ice cream and you want it nice and crispy. I'm just getting my bowl out of the way. I'm spreading it out into my very shallow baking tray slash dish. I'm not really sure what to call it, and I'm just patting it down gently and hopefully getting all of the areas covered in my crumble. The other thing that I have done here is, in this very shallow baking tray, I'm hoping you can see, I have put 300 grams of blueberries and sprinkled on the top 50 grams of caster sugar. My fan oven is on at 170 degrees, and I'm going to put both of these, I'm going to put the crumble on the top and the blueberries on the bottom for 10 minutes. The crumble should go nice and crunchy and thin and breakable, and the blueberries should turn into a lovely soft puree in texture. So I'll see you soon.
And go.
So I'm going to take the crumble out. I am then going to leave it aside for it to cool. When it is cooled, I'm going to break it up into pea-sized pieces because it is for ice cream. Whilst on the go, I have been making sure that there isn't a skin on my custard by giving it a whisk every now and again. And now I'm going to get my pureed blueberries out. And then I'm going to sieve it because I don't want any skin or any seeds in my ice cream mixture. So here we go. So I'm feeling for my crumble, it is looking perfect, looking absolutely gorgeous. And now I'm going to feel for my blueberries, obviously wearing a lot of gloves. Here we go, and with some confidence, there's my blueberries. Now I'm going to ask my mum to help me put it into my sieve, so that I can then use this spoon here to then push it down into my sieve in order to get the puree out.
Great.
So remember to use the back of the spoon. So remember to use the back of the spoon when you are pushing your mixture through. We want as much syrup as we can. Now the reason why I'm doing it into the pan is because if I don't think it's syrupy enough, I can always heat the pan up and get it even more syrupy than it was when I took it out of the oven. There we go. So for those of you who can see, I have got only a sludge left from sieving all of these into my pan. If I lift it up here, you can see the nice dark liquidy syrup that does not have any skin or any of the seeds on. So now I'm just going to get rid of this sludge that's left over, okay?
Wow.
So now I have a cooled crumble here, and I'm just pulling it out. Oh, sugar lumps. There we go. And I'm going to now break it up into tiny pea-sized pieces. So I'd say that would be about as big as you'd want them.
Smaller.
Yeah, I'll do them a little bit smaller into pea-sized pieces. Because you're wanting it to be crumbly enough to be flavoursome in the ice cream, but not so small that it's just not pleasant. So now that I have my lovely cold custard that has no skin on it, I am now going to fold, and it's important, fold in my 5% fat, 500 mils of 5% fat Greek yogurt. It is important that you take note of the fat contents of the yogurt in it and of itself. There we go. I'm just going to put this all in nicely. There we go. Get it all out quickly as I can. Tap it all out. Here we go. Da, 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 da. Then I have 300 mils of double cream, and I'm just going to pour that on top. Right, the instructions say to fold. So I'm now going to proceed to fold my mixture. They're all nice and uniformly mixed and folded. So when you fold, you take your spatula, you go down to the bottom, and then you push and you pull it up and push it down from the top. So up from the bottom, down, up from the bottom, down, up from the bottom, down, and you continue to do this. Try not to get it everywhere, because I know it's incredibly difficult to do without getting it everywhere. So whilst I am doing this, and I've got this lovely glass bowl anchored, I am going to tell you, you're going to be making about 2 litres of this ice cream.
Litre and a half.
A litre and a half of this ice cream, sorry, thanks Mum. And so you're going to split it up. Now, I am lucky enough to have an ice cream maker. If you don't have an ice cream maker, then what you can do is you can put your mixture, this mixture here, in to your 2 tubs. You can then put your 2 tubs into the freezer for 2 hours. Take them out after that, mix it up a little bit more, and then put it back in the freezer for about 2 to 3 hours. And then when it is a semi-solid ice cream-like texture, you can then add your pieces of crumble and your blueberry syrup. Now, if you don't want purple ice cream, which to be honest, I don't really love purple ice cream, what you can do is you can just take a little bit of your blueberry syrup and drip it in with a spoon every couple of, every time you whisk it up a bit, drip it in a little bit, whisk it up a bit, drip it in a little bit, and then put it all back into the freezer until it becomes a very lovely, hard, yummy ice cream. So here we go. Ribbons of, maybe some pistachio then, blueberry syrup. I think that's approximately half. I've got hold of it. Thank you. As you can see, it's actually quite tough to do. Here we go.
Let's give that a little mix.
So I'm going to fold it all in, mix it all up so that we don't get a nice amount of crumble with our ice cream. Because it's kind of semi-solid now. Semi-solid ice cream.
Just going to get out this really well frozen bit that's on the side of the ice cream jar. Let's have a look. Do you want to just take the top off the ice cream bowl?
Top of the ice cream bowl?
Yeah.
Do you mean?
Yeah, the tub that we're going to put it in. Look.
There we go.
Yeah, put it down first.
So, I just pour it in, and then I presume we're going to add the ribbons.
I've already done that bit actually.
Oh! But if you were wondering whether I was blind or not, there's your proof.
It was looking a little bit runny, so I thought I'd best get them in quick. There we go. Put the lid on.
Put the lid on,
And we've got it in the freezer.
and put it in the freezer.